9 a.m., January 27th. The hobbled MV Explorer fights the vicious waters of the North Pacific. Only one of its engines is operating. Finally, after more than 2.5 hours, engineer Neil Carney and his team override the computer system and fire up the second engine.
It's that period of time when everything comes together, the training you've gone through, to be able to get away from the automation and go back to basics.
With the ship running on full power, navigating the treacherous waters is easier. The captain calls off the rescue attempt by the Coast Guard. Still, it takes another 6 hours for the Explorer to reach safer conditions. After 12 hours in their life vests, students are allowed to go back to their cabins.
I just couldn't believe the damage I could see before my eyes.
The library was a disaster area. There was not a single book left on any shelf.
Everybody's room was destroyed. Like a lot of TVs were broke, the beds were all over the place. Furniture in the room was flipped over, a lot of it was broke.
The place we had come to know as home for the last week was destroyed.
People were just very quiet and very sad at how destroyed the boat had become.
To make matters worse, communication lines on the ship are down, and students have been out of contact with their families for more than 14 hours.
Most of them weren't so worried about themselves as much as they were that their parents would be concerned about them.
In Burr Ridge, Illinois, Pat Green doesn't know anything about the dangerous storm her son Mike has gone through until she receives a call from her husband.
My husband called from work and said, "Turn on the news. Michael's ship just got hit by a wave." And I didn't know what was happening to Mike. So it was very hard to sit here and be so helpless as a parent.
Pat checks the Semester at Sea website for updates on the ship.
I was sitting in my kitchen thinking, what's going on at the moment? 'Cause, that ship could have been, washed over by waves. It could have been safe. I didn't know.
Almost 2 days drag by with no word from their son. Mike's parents are at home when the phone rings.
The phone first rang Friday night. There was nobody on the other end, but I kind of stayed on, hello, hello, and he finally came on. "Mom, how you doing?" "How am I? How are you?"
That's when I kind of realized maybe it was more serious than I thought, because they both seemed extremely surprised and happy to be talking to me.
I think I was a lot more afraid than he was. It was great to hear his voice and know he was okay.
January 29th, 6 p.m. The Explorer is 11 days into its voyage. Finally, weather conditions improve. The ship is headed to port, where the injured passengers can receive medical attention and repairs on the vessel can begin. The destination? Honolulu, Hawaii.
If we were going to be stuck anywhere, what better place to be stuck than Hawaii?
The weather got calmer, the seas got calmer, the sun came out.
Before we even arrived, they were lining the decks. They were so happy to see land when they could leave the ship. They streamed out and they were kissing the ground.
Aloha!
The students take advantage of their unscheduled semester break. February 1st. Officials with Semester at Sea assess the damage on the MV Explorer. It needs extensive repairs to its navigation system and interior.
It was a really stressful time for everyone. We didn't know if the program was going to continue. We didn't know where we were going.
Most of the students are counting on the program for credit. With the semester well underway, canceling the trip could affect their ability to graduate on time.
The opportunity of a lifetime to go around the world in 100 days, go to 10 different countries. I'd have been devastated if we had to stop the trip.
2 days later, the students get the news. They'll be flying the next leg of their journey.
I can't believe they pulled together what they did, getting us to China and then Hong Kong and to Vietnam.
Its repairs completed, the MV Explorer catches up with the students in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Of its original 10 destinations, Semester at Sea loses only 2 from the itinerary. The horror of the violent storm soon fades as the students move on with their travels.
The remaining 86 days were about the best time of my life.
I'm definitely a changed person. I really would like to travel more now, and I'm looking into different career possibilities because of this trip.
I've seen how people live all across the world, their cultures, their customs, and it just made me become more accepting. I just learned to appreciate other people and other cultures.
How are modern lifeboats safer than their predecessors? The answer when Storm Stories continues. So how are modern lifeboats safer than their predecessors? Old lifeboats, like the ones used on the Titanic, were made of wood and steel and left its passengers exposed to the elements. Today's motor-propelled vessels are enclosed and built of lightweight plastics. This design allows them to roll over in heavy seas while passengers are harnessed inside. These self-contained heated units often are stocked with 3 or more days' worth of supplies in case the rescue is delayed. To ensure quick rescues, lifeboats are installed with emergency locator beacons that can pinpoint their locations for search parties. For Storm Stories, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. Your local forecast is next.
This is the worst storm in the history of the